Welcome to the No More Mondays podcast, the show that inspires confident professionals by interviewing people who actually enjoy what they do for work. I'm your host, Angie Callen, and I welcome you to join me each week as I chat with founders, entrepreneurs, and employees who have figured out that special sauce, the magic, the mystery to having no more Mondays. The book recommendations we get from the guests on No More Mondays are one of my favorite parts of Rapid Fire, so don't worry, I will never take that question out. And once again, Jane and I are going to chat about the recommendations because we got a really interesting cross-section of books, some totally new recommendations, things that we both added to our reading list. So where are we going to start, Jane?
So the first group is from Acacia Fonte, and she recommended pretty much the catalog of Brené Brown.
Very well stated. And I'm a huge fan of Brené Brown. I recommend her books to clients quite often just because I really appreciate the research that she does and the perspective that she brings around, overcoming circumstances and alleviating ourselves of shame and just kind of stepping into who we are. But she has, I'm particularly excited about this recommendation because she has a new offering out there that is a little different than her previous collection. And I mean that in a really great way. So Dare to Lead, Daring Greatly, Gifts of Imperfection are all kind of centered around her shame research. And there's a lot of overlap and common themes there. And they're all fantastic. But her new book, Atlas of the Heart, I actually just finished reading. So this is a very timely conversation. And it's fascinating because it's a research of emotions and how in our communication and in our vocabulary, we often are limited in expressing emotions simply because we don't have the full range of words to associate to that, parallel range of emotions. And what they've done is studied, I think it's 87 emotions, and tied them to circumstances or situations in our lives where they tend to manifest themselves so that we can begin building that identification in the vocabulary to kind of be able to speak to it. And it's just a really amazing read that will kind of make you more self-aware of what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and the situations that trigger those different emotions.
The next one is from Amber Jackson, Expect to Win, from Carla Harris.
Well, and I'm a huge nonfiction nerd. And as soon as we get to the fiction recommendations here, you're going to get a sweeping feedback from me because I just really don't read a lot of novels. Sorry, mother-in-law who's a novelist. But I mean, any book that says 10 proven strategies for anything is my jam and on my list. And I love this one because, it is from a Black woman leader who has really paved her own path. And is giving that wisdom out through this book that really, the feedback I've gotten on this one is that it's got really 10 proven strategies that will really get you thinking and acting. So it's on my reading list behind another book that was on the podcast this season that's actually on my desk now. We'll talk about in a little bit, but I love this recommendation from Amber. And it's also a very fitting recommendation coming from Amber, who is a similarly, powerful Black woman paving her path in the corporate world and doing amazing things from it.
So the next one is from Jeff Shannon. Different theme. Stillness is the key.
Well, and I think that the theme just of what that title invokes is the message there. And that idea that sometimes, and you all hear me talk about this all the time, whether it's with guests on the podcast, outdoor life lessons on the website, or whatever it might be, that idea of turning off and tuning out in order to give yourself the space to be creative and the space and decompressing and all those kinds of things. And that's what, to me, stillness is key means.
From Chris Fanucci, this is a really long title, but worth it. The Hard Thing About Hard Things, Building a Business When There Are No Easy Answers, Ben Horowitz.
And that is the book that is currently sitting on my desk about to be cracked open. It's been on my reading list for a while, and Chris kind of triggered me to read it. But again, like stillness is key, I think the message there is hard things are hard, but good things come out of that. And if you can just weather the storm, it's going to be worth it.
So now we're getting to the fiction combo platter.
You're going to talk about these, right, Jane?
So we have from Jules Porter, we have Mama from Terry McMillan. And from Sam Alexander, we have Where the Crawdads Sing from Delia Owens.
Well, it was funny when Jane and I were just reviewing the list and kind of getting ready to have this conversation. She was like, I read Mama in college. And I'm like, okay, good. You run with it. But really, I think that these are, first of all, 2 books that if anybody tuned in to the movies recap, I probably need to put them on my reading list, much like It's a Wonderful Life needs to go on my watch list. But I think that they give us that overcomer theme of rising above your circumstances, doing hard things, making hard decisions in order to pave your way and create kind of the future and the outcomes that you want, regardless of what your situation, may tell you.
Really germane topics for our culture right now.
Absolutely.
Okay. Angela Santi, our Italian guest, has a great recommendation, One Nun and 100,000 from Luigi Pirandello.
Well, first of all, it's just fun to say that. And second of all, this is why it has been really fun this particular season to have not only 1, but 2 guests who live internationally, because what's super cool about this book is in Jane and I looking this up, because we had never heard of it. It turns out that Luigi is a Nobel Prize winner in literature from 1934, and he's kind of a mainstay in the Italian culture. And so that's what's super cool about this is this got on our radar, which we never would have picked up on it. But it's kind of one of those classics in Italian literature that now, we should adopt. It's been printed in a ton of languages, so it's clearly very popular, very well written, and in my opinion, also has a really big overlap just with kind of the culture of today, because it's really around removing masks and being our authentic selves. And I think that is so relevant today in the day of social media and in the professional world. Being authentic is very important, and just turning off what we think society tells us we need to be and just accepting and owning, who we are without the masks. So again, it's in my Amazon cart.
And I love that we have this global reach from No More Mondays. Super fun.
I know. I like it too.
Then the last one on the list is from Helen Day, Positive Leadership Strategies for Extraordinary Performance from Kim Cameron.
Well, and, obviously, for those of you who listen to Helen's episode, she is, bleeds positivity just in her personality, but also in how she approaches life and what she does for work. So very appropriate recommendation from her, and something I would really love the leaders and managers out there to adopt. So whether you listen to her podcast, whether you read this book, I think just what I would love is this ties in so much to what I do in helping people find work that is meaningful and satisfying. Our leadership can do a better job of providing those environments and adopting this kind of mentality of positive leadership. This book's going to give you really great resources to start thinking about that so that you can evolve your management and leadership style to meet the needs of today's workforce. We're so grateful for our guests on No More Mondays. They give us such great resources and recommendations to get us out of our immediate circles, get us out of our norms, and start exploring other ideas and things that can just continue helping us develop. So I hope you enjoyed another spring short to keep you inspired and motivated. Go get outside and enjoy the coming warm weather, and maybe throw on a pair of shorts while you're at it. Thanks for listening to this episode of No More Mondays. We hoped you grabbed some great insights to help you improve your professional satisfaction. Please visit us at Apple iTunes and give us a rating so we can continue to offer you awesome interviews and content each week. No More Mondays. New episodes drop every Wednesday. No More Mondays is brought to you by Career Benders, Inc. in partnership with executive producer Jane Durkee. For more information about career coaching, resume writing, personal branding, recruiting, and entrepreneurship coaching services, visit our website at careerbenders.com. That's Career Benders, B as in boy, S as in Sam.com. This is your host, Angie Callen, signing off. Until next week when we chat with another inspired, confident professional.